Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this right here is Tom Clark's Main Event. What's up, kids? Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you guys are doing freaking awesome. This is a big show today, a really big shoe. I'm so old, I feel like I gotta do that every time. If you're a Beatles fan, you get that. If you're not, I don't know what we're doing hanging out. Happy Friday to you. It's WrestleMania weekend. I don't know if you heard. Spoiler alert, matches is happening this week. And more's going to happen this weekend. So buckle up, folks. It's going to be a good one. It's been a good week so far. A couple of my guests today have not slept in days. It is what it is. We have another special guest. Get down here and say hello. I asked him to bring the shades, and this is what I get. You see that? He's repping Rick and Morty. That's not where they go. Thanks so much, son. You're great. You're the greatest. Good Lord have mercy. There's a reason why we're getting ready to have gimmicks on here, folks. Phil is setting the bar. If any of you have noticed, oh my God, that's dark. If any of you have noticed the post that we're doing, and by the way, this is the best part. If anybody that doesn't watch the show is on Wrestling Rumors flipping going, who's this idiot with the beard and whatnot? What's going on? Isn't that fun stuff? I don't even care. Look who's made an appearance. He snuck in. My God, we're just jam-packed full of guests today. If the dog could talk, he'd be telling you right now that he doesn't want to see Hogan this weekend. We'll get on to that in short order. These things may not be able to stay on very long. Let's get our guests on board, and then we'll say hello to the crew. Phil Lindsey, welcome back to the show. Troy, welcome. And James. What's up, baby? There you go.
I'm glad we all got the props ready.
Yes. I'm going to have to flip Troy and James. Let's do this real quick. All right. We're going to try this again because good Lord have mercy. We'll try James first and try Troy. Nope. We took everybody. Wait. Nope. Oh my God. It's like Hollywood Squares. Don't even go anywhere. We're going to try it one more time. All right. Ready? Here we go. All right, Phil, you're good. Everybody heard that, right? Okay, so we'll go with remove and then Troy and James. Don't flub it up. James flubbed it up. All right, and boom and boom. Oh my God! It finally worked.
Yes. I will do it again
in the house.
First time,
listen,
guys.
I can't. There we go. I can't blame Troy for this because Troy was totally on time this time. Good on you, Troy.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Bam, I love when stuff works on the 9th attempt. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep because man, that's dark. Having said that, the ring light is pretty bright, dude. My ring light is like this big because I can't take the mammoth core of the sun ring light because I'm like, holy God, my office is not very. Troy, how big is your ring light? Is it massive or what?
Yeah, it's like I've got a 12-inch one and an 18-inch one. They're like studio size. They're huge.
Good heavens. I don't know if I can handle one that big, man. That's crazy.
It's like staring into the sun.
Yes, I suppose so. And see, as soon as I introduce the dog, he gets down. You know why he's down? He didn't get a banner. That's why he's upset. You see that? I'm sorry I didn't give you a banner. But it's okay. Before we get going here today, folks, let's see who was first at the table because that's always fun. Sandy in Germany. Guten Tag to you, Sandy. Hope you're doing well. And of course, as soon as I say that, there it is. Good stuff. Let's see. Christopher, what's going on? We're going to say a few hellos, and we're going to get to it because I got a really big show here. Sugar Shane, what's going on? Canada Cam is back. Guys, Cam is in Canada, and he's a truck driver, and he has hopefully just listened to the show while driving. This is my impression of the big wheel. And so driving the big rig and hopefully not watching the show at the same time, driving through the snow like that. So, yeah, Cameron's the man, dude. Let's see who else we got here today. Lance is a host of Dudes at Ringside Wrestling Podcast on Twitch. I'll be a special guest there Monday. Lance, thanks for hanging out. There you go. Co-host there. Ray, who I hear is an Adam Cole fan. That's a joke.
He's never mentioned that.
No, never. I wish he would share. Mark, what's up? Jason, how you doing? Shannon, what's up? We're saying hello to all the regulars here. Elvis Martinez, what's going on? Anybody commenting on what happened this week? You're out of luck. I mean, you're not out of luck. But what we're going to do here today is we're going to actually preview, as we said before, this is WrestleMania. The ticker may actually, it's ticking, and it's not interrupting anybody's stuff. So that's fun stuff. There we go.
It's all gone smoothly from the start, isn't it?
I know. Yeah.
Everything's worked first time.
Yeah, you could never tell that the whole thing got flubbed up. So it is what it is. All right, guys. First of all, welcome back to the pod. Welcome back to the show. Kids, these are the horsemen. Horsemen, these are the kids. Kids, make the horsemen feel welcome. I am the de facto Flair because it's my show and I said so. So I'm the de facto Flair. Phil, show him the gimmick one more time. Barry in the house. Big Barry Windham in the house. Troy, we decided that you're Tully because you got that charisma. You're
All
Tully, man. I'm just saying. And you're going to be the one that everybody's going to love to hate. You see what I'm saying? And James, you're the Arn. You're the double A of this group.
I'm okay with that.
I knew you would be. So there you go. All right, kids. We hope you're here to talk some WrestleMania because, buddy, we're here to give you some WrestleMania. Good stuff abounds here on the main event today. Let's talk about night one of the WrestleMania. I'm going to go in order, and we can just rattle off what you guys think and give a little commentary and maybe even hitting some buttons on the way. That'll be fun, right? So here we go, kids. Match one, we're going to talk about Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke versus and Mandy Rose versus Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. So, wow, that should be Brooke instead of Brooks. Okay, so Phil, let's start and go around the horn. Hopefully I don't get sued for that. Phil, what do you think about this match? Are you looking forward to it?
Not in particular. Thrown together at the last minute. I want the women's tag team division to be good. It's been 2 years of this. I want it to be good. I am consistently troubled by the fact that they won't just book a meaningful feud around these belts. It's weird. We're back to doing multi-women matches. And of course, this is going to lead to the traditional tag match tomorrow. But I mean, come on, man. Book a 2-team this card, man. Come on. You don't have to keep trying to book these multi-women matches to get every woman on the card. Book more than one feud, people. You can book secondary feuds.
Mm-hmm.
You've got enough women.
It's not difficult. I don't know how they keep getting this so wrong. So wrong. And yet NXT in a matter of weeks built an entire tournament for women's tag teams, and it's outshone anything that Raw and SmackDown did with their women's tag teams in the last, year or so. It's mad. It's crazy. And it's disappointing because we say it a lot when we're talking about Raw and SmackDown and the women's division as a whole. Like, everyone in this is more capable than what they do. Like, they're better than this. And people like Lana, who have come on like leaps and bounds over the last few months and just stuck in this nonsense again. Naomi, who arguably should have had a championship opportunity when she came out straight away, it's just been thrown into this. The Riot Squad are well overdue a run with the belts. Just everyone in this just deserves better. And I'm tired of seeing it. Just book something meaningful, like you say, Phil.
James, this feels like a New Japan tactic to throw a lot of people in one match, but at the same time, when they do it, is to further heat between factions, to further angles down the road. They're building to a match tomorrow night or the night after the next week. This just, like the guys have said, feels like they just threw them all together for the sake of throwing them together. What do you think?
Well, aren't they meant to be Shoehorn and Carmella and Billy Kay as well?
Are they?
Oh,
wow.
They accidentally tweeted out a graphic during Raw, which had those two on as well. And they did like a little teaser last week. So, I mean, it's just disappointing, isn't it? I've quite happily seen them build up like one of those teams to take on Nia and Shayna, and then you do whatever else you need to do with that. There was even I saw something going around that the original plan was going to be do the women's battle royal, and the final two were going to challenge the tag title holders. Which again, it could have had some interesting things, but it just seems lazy at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the winners of this match get a title shot on Sunday night. So
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it was a battle royal, they were all going to enter as singles competitors. So they were going to do the, hey, how can they coexist again with the women? How can these two women that have never teamed together coexist?
I mean, they've not done that storyline at all this year, Phil.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. Designate tag teams for this division. I don't understand. What I really want to happen, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love it if Billie Kay is running around with the resume like she's been doing for about a year now, and we all think she's gonna tag with Carmella, and she doesn't. Comes out with the resume, and the Iconics music hits. That's what needs to happen.
Yes. That was the thing I really wanted to happen if they had done the Battle Royal. Have Peyton and Billy the final two and reunite the Iconics.
Interesting. You guys know how I feel about that team. Yikes. But listen, I won't go against popular opinion here. I'll be outnumbered 3-1. No one wants that. I'd be okay with that. It would seem like for the past several months, they're all going, man, that was a stupid thing. Why did we split them up again? Hey, we'll just fix it at Mania. It'll be fine, which is what they do. They're like, no one wants to tell the old guy, hey, Vince, this kind of isn't working. No one wants to tell him because he's in Vince world, and in Vince world, everything's fine. So,
Yeah. Well, if you were going to break them up, do an actual singles push with them. They haven't done a singles push with either of them. And Billie Kay has been fantastic. She's hilarious, one of the better characters in the division. But if you're just going to do this and put Billie back in another tag team, what is the point?
Exactly.
And she's not the best in terms of ring work. She's the weakest of the two. And I think maybe we all kind of knew that, but it was kind of really exposed when they split them up. And then, how do you not know who the strongest of the two is? Everybody look at Keith's comment below because it's awesome.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Crazy
match for Bayley. Yeah, I don't get that. And talk about someone they did a lot of work with and gave her all the spotlight and all the promos and a talk show and a haircut and new stuff. And then they just, nothing for Mania. Awesome.
Yeah, if they were going to team Carmella with anybody, it should have been Bayley. They have history together from NXT. Teaming her with Billie Kay doesn't really do anything. It's just random.
Yeah.
So give me some predictions here, guys. What do you think? Who goes over in this match?
I want the Riot Squad, but I think it's probably going to be Natalya and Tamina.
We got Troy.
I equally want it to be the Riot Squad. However, I think Lana's getting a WrestleMania moment and she's pinning Nia.
Phil, you got Troy on this one, right?
Yeah, I really want to be Riot Squad as well. I think they're long overdue. But I really think this is going to be Lana and Naomi. Hopefully this is the end of the Lana and Nia saga.
One can only pray and hope.
And break up that tag team, for God's sake. Get Shane out of that tag team.
Yeah. Come on. It's boggling.
Yeah, it's very mind-numbing stuff. I'll go with the consensus of the group here. Troy, I think I'm specifically going with you on your picks. I think it makes the most sense. Let's move on to match number 2, kids. I kind of wish there was a title attached to Rollins versus Cesaro. Not that it needs it. I absolutely think Cesaro needs this a lot more than Seth has ever needed to win at Mania. I think Cesaro needs this. I don't personally know that it's going to happen. What do you guys think? James, let's start with you.
I think that the way they built it, Cesaro, it seems like they're actually doing something with him. Like they're actually priming him for something bigger. I think if a win here for Cesaro means he could probably go into the world title picture as like a feasible challenger, whereas Rollins wouldn't really need that to do that. That being said, it's WWE, so I wouldn't be surprised if Seth won either.
Before I move on, James, I got to tell you mentioned that light before we went live. With that hair and that beard and that light, you got a Christ-like thing happening right now, and I'm loving it. Look at that.
It's just the way the sun's like setting behind me.
I should have like doves in the background, like a John Woo film, just the music and everything.
Yeah.
No, like the Matt Riddle just flying out of
Riddle's
nowhere.
That's good stuff. Oh my God. If you'd never said it, I never would have put it together, but now it's all I can see. Stained glass. Yeah. You need stained glass in that room. That's what you need. I'm
waiting for them to get back on me with a number.
It's good stuff. Stained glass ain't cheap, kids. Phil, what you think about this match?
I think Cesaro's going over. I think Rollins gets it. I don't think Rollins would get in this match and go, oh, I need a WrestleMania moment. Like, he's gotten several huge WrestleMania moments. This is Cesaro's time to get his first WrestleMania moment as a singles competitor. So I think he's definitely going over.
Troy, what you think?
Complete agreement. Cesaro's going over in this. As you said, Rollins doesn't need the win, whether it be at Mania or on SmackDown. Like, Cesaro needs it. It feels like they've put a lot of stock in him over the last couple of months. It feels like we might be getting potentially that Cesaro big push, that world title possible opportunity. And I think this is the start of it. I also think this it has potential to be match of the weekend.
I agree with that. I think that Seth, for some faults, and Phil, I've spoke off mic about this before. Seth has some faults, but he is so good in the ring, and we all wish he wouldn't be towing the company line as hard and heavy as he does sometimes, because it kind of feels like like you really want to be John Cena, but like John knew when to shut up, and John didn't get political. For better or worse, he was never that guy. So people can say what they want to about John, but he never really crossed the line with fans and stuff. Seth has no problem. He's a habitual line stepper. Steps over it all the time. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think hopefully he'll do. Not that it's completely up to him, but you think the conversation's been had where he's told Cesaro, "Hey man, this is for you. Let's go out there and tear it down, and or burn it down." There you go. Here's moving on to the third match, kids. All right, let's talk. Oh, where's my energy? Where's all the Four Horsemen stuff now, huh? Because the steel cage match between Braun Strowman and Shane, see how excited the dog is, and Shane McMahon. 4 words, my God in heaven. Someone, before my head explodes, Troy, help me out here. Say something that would keep me from destroying my desk in front of me. So,
just go and put the kettle on while this is happening. grab yourself a hot brew, maybe some biscuits, maybe put a pizza in the oven. I don't know, and let's all just forget that this was ever allowed on the card.
So James, what do you think about this, man?
I'm hoping this is high up enough the card that I've drank enough that I can forget about it. So I think that it's going to be a case of Braun throwing Shane out and getting called stupid, isn't it? Because Shane wins.
Oh God!
Oh,
they're absolutely going to do that. That's why it's a cage match.
Oh
no.
Well, James, you just made a bad situation much worse. So thanks.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Phil, before you say it, I'll say it for you. I'm pretty sure Shane's going to get these hands. What do you think?
Oh my God! Come on, tee up the button, man. Let's do this.
Don't think I'm not. Hey, don't think I'm not ready.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage. This feud is terrible.
Yes.
Braun was just champion a year ago. Like, that's insane. He was just champion, and you can't figure out anything better for him to do at WrestleMania than wrestle Shane.
I would rather not have him on the card than be in this nonsense.
It's crazy. Not excited about this at all. I mean, the novelty of watching Shane wrestle has died down a long time ago. This isn't Shane versus Kurt anymore. Because the thing at one point was Shane would do these crazy bumps and, you know, he would do all this to earn our respect, and then he would lose. But Shane as a heel is like Steph on steroids. It's like he just doesn't get comeuppance. It's like he always somehow wins. This guy has beaten Roman Reigns. He's beaten Drew McIntyre. He beat Miz. Those are all world champions. Why? What are we doing?
Hey, on a side note, my goal one day is to stand beside Stephanie on live TV so she can do this for 10 minutes. With that smile that never stops. And her nose gets all crinkled up. And I'm like, dude, you're starting to look like a supervillain right now. You just need to cut it out.
She does look like she's in pain when she has to smile.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
It looks like her brain is sending all the signals to smile, but her facial muscles are like, nope, grimace, you don't want to smile, grimace.
You're a heel. Phil gets the first gold star of the day for bringing the word grimace into the conversation. I love it. That's great. This is my producer, folks, Nathan Workman. $25 says Nicholas makes an appearance and gets a coast to coast and doesn't sell it. Great.
Give us what we want.
Yes, we want a coast to coast on the kid. The kid gets up like Undertaker, sits back up. Oh, you know. Yeah, that's great, man. I have vented on this and I ranted on this, and no one in the McMahon family seems to care. I don't know. I mean, you would think thanks, James. Yeah, they don't return my calls or anything. I'm like, hey, Vince, this is Tom. You know Tom, right? So this whole Shane thing, we're not feeling it. So can we just not do it right now? Shane wrestles about as good as Trump ran our country. Oh, my God. There's a second gold star of the day, kids. And if you don't agree, you don't have to watch. No disrespect, but hey, it's my show. I'll get political if I want to. I don't care. Let's see. Shane says NXT Stand Deliver is already better than WrestleMania. Oh, my God. Is it already better? And the thing hadn't even happened yet. That's a big, broad, general question. But Shane was very impressed with Stand Deliver. I mean, WrestleMania has to follow that. I'm sure they don't care because they're like, it's WrestleMania, pal. It's going to be epic. I mean, they got some shoes to fill on this, Troy. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree. It's going to be tough to top either.
Yeah.
Stand and Deliver really is. I think not just WrestleMania to top it, but another pay-per-view this year to top it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would love to give you some more on this, but I don't have it in me, and I don't want to get nauseous. So, yeah, that's all I got. Let's go to a much more interesting thing here. The Raw Tag Team Championships on the line as the New Day, love doing that, versus AJ Styles and Omos. Omos. I don't know why he's just Omos, but cool. Kind of like Cher. You know what I mean? It's just Omos. What's your last name? I don't have it. It's just Omos.
Like Meatloaf.
Like me, but it's 2 words. And by the way, it's the best name ever. I don't know how you not. I'm waiting for like Salisbury steak. You know what I mean? That's what I'm waiting for. Of course, I don't know how you do that without saying Salisbury steak, children, because I think you kind of got to follow that. You're gonna do the chef. No South Park fans here?
Yeah.
All right, dude. All right. No sense. Yeah. Well, all right. So, Phil, give me something on this. You and I spoke about this more than one time before, how WrestleMania season comes around, and it seems like this year's the exception for Randy, but oftentimes it seems like they got Randy and AJ going, oh crap, Randy and AJ's here. Hey, we can just put them against each other, which they've done. It kind of feels like they kind of leave these guys out, man. How do you leave out AJ Styles out of WrestleMania?
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like they don't know what to do with AJ if he's not champion by WrestleMania season. And then it always seems like they are kind of like, oh man, we got to book something for the tag team. How about we throw that kid in there and Braun? Let's do that. And now it's this year. It's like, hey, Hurt Business has been killing it. Let's just take the titles off of them a few weeks before Mania and throw AJ in a tag team for reasons. Well, not reasons. We got to make him a Grand Slam champion, and that's totally the reason why we're doing this. So I think AJ is winning. He's never been a tag champion with the company. He's won every other belt other than the Universal title. And I'm for it. Make him Grand Slam champion, but do better by tag team wrestling, WWE. Please.
And James, a loss for the New Day at this show, James, doesn't hurt them in the slightest. And maybe this is the best move for him to give it to AJ and Omos.
Yeah, I think they were getting to the point where Omos needed to do a bit more than just be AJ's bodyguard, and they'd been teasing that he was going to be doing more. I'm actually really excited for this match just to see what it's like, because the New Day stuff they've done with AJ the last couple of weeks in ring has been really good. So we already know we're going to get that side of it, but then we've got Omos as well as like the sort of like X factor to it. I think it could be a really good match, or at least different.
Oh, yeah, that's a good word. Different, not meaning necessarily bad, but it's you got to know that New Day is gonna shine this guy up. He's gonna look really good. Not that he can't look good anyway, but we don't really know what he can do yet in a WWE ring. So this will be kind of his coming out party, and not that nerves will be a thing, because I mean, it depends on who you believe. A lot of veterans say that they still get the butterflies before they go through the curtain. Other guys say it comes to the territory, I just get over it. I mean, almost might have some butterflies here, Troy, but it's his opportunity to come out and say, hey, you made a wise investment. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. So,
absolutely. Initially, when they announced this, I was just like, this is all you've got for AJ on a WrestleMania card. But then I was speaking to Aaron, who we do the podcast with, and he was saying, actually, I'm quite excited for it. There's a lot of moving parts to it. You got the New Day, who are so entertaining. And then you've got AJ Styles, who can have an amazing match of anyone. Then you've got Omos, who is making his in-ring debut. So there's so many pieces to it that actually, collectively, this could surprise a lot of people and be a really, really entertaining match. And I think it will be. I'm excited for it.
Awesome. I like that you put a nice positive spin on it. That's good stuff, man. You brought it back around for me. I dig it.
Hey, I mean, I'm positive about AJ being Grand Slam champion. I think
you are.
But I just didn't like Hurt Business getting thrown in the bin for this. I just didn't like that.
Nobody did.
But it is what it is. I mean, I think it's going to be a good match. I think we can all agree that Kofi heaving a microphone at Omos last week was fantastic. Was that Monday?
That was Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten there yet, but in terms of prediction for that match, I think the fact that they decide to split up the Hurt Business, a week before Mania, I think there's a good reason for that, because if Lashley's got help, he can't lose. So now he doesn't have help, so maybe he's going to lose, which kind of feels like he did all this for nothing. However, would that surprise anybody here? I don't think so. Let's get on to another tag match that everybody's talking about. Damian Priest versus I did sarcasm because a lot of people don't like this. Just a disclaimer. Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus Miz and Morrison. Talk about moving parts, Troy. I don't even know where to go for this. So hit me.
Right. Split Miz and Morrison up after all this is done, because I'm tired of what they're doing. It's nonsense. They're both better than that. Morrison, I really want to see go on some sort of decent singles run, because he's brilliant. We all know he is. And to have been brought back into company just to do all this schmuck with the Miz, I get it. They're best mates, but this is just wearing thin. Priest is in dangerous territory for me of kind of being overshadowed by the fact that he's just been partnered with Bad Bunny. But I also think Bad Bunny's only been kept in there because he shifted a load of merch at the Rumble. And so it gets some more eyes on the product at Mania. After this is done, hopefully he goes away. Hopefully Priest gets to shine like he should do. And Miz and Morrison go their separate ways and do something. I don't really have anything on this match. It's just there, isn't it? I mean, I'd take this over the cage match, if that's a positive.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I would take the puppy bowl over the cage match, if I'm being honest. Because I mean, at least the puppies are cute. I'm just saying. So, James, I'll give Bad Bunny credit. So we can say all day, well, they got him ready, but you have to be able to do this, and you got to be able to at least make it look good. So they're getting him ready, but man, he's carried his part pretty well. I think if he wasn't this guy, if he was just another guy, people maybe wouldn't be so hard on him through this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm sure I read somewhere, didn't he move to Orlando to actually be close to the PC?
Nice.
for for this season, just to kind of like get ready for it. So, I mean, at least he's taking it. Yeah, at least he's taking it seriously. I'm actually weirdly looking forward to seeing this. Like, just to see what they do with it. I mean, the positives you can take from it. It's a mainstream thing for the company, so they can actually have Priest shine in that spotlight as well, and use that to kind of like elevate Priest coming out of it, going into like the follow up from Mania. Miz and Morrison just don't do it for me at all. I'm so bored of it. So again, seeing Priest and Bad Bunny like just making short work of them would be quite nice. But yeah, it's, as I say, it's good. It's a good spotlight for Priest. That's like the kind of positive I'm trying to take out of it.
Hey, Phil, before I throw it to you, try beating this comment from Sugar Shane. AEW's Bunny is better than WWE Bad Bunny. I mean, she's nice to look at. I mean, can we just say that? I'm just saying.
Pleasing on the eye.
As two red-blooded American men and two red-blooded British guys, British men, we can all say that. Hey, just as a side note, dude, I really like her. There's something about when she's on camera, dude, she hugs that camera. When that camera's on her, and you know, as a talent, just so, I mean, you guys know this, as a talent, find the camera. Don't run from it. I don't care what company you're in. And man, she finds it and she's all, I mean, I'm like, I love that about her. I think she knows how to put herself out there. So Phil, what do you think about this match, man?
Yeah, I mean, can't say enough good things about Allie. I think she should wrestle more, by the way. Fantastic with Impact. I don't know why they didn't do more with her when they brought her over for AEW. I don't know if that was just a thing she wanted to do, be a valet, but she's great. Definitely let her wrestle more. I think this is an interesting match. For everything I could throw at WWE for going, hey, we got this star, let's use him as much as possible. At the same time, when you get somebody as big as Bad Bunny, you should milk it as much as you can. I mean, and you should get as much mainstream attention off of it as you can. And this is a guy that loves wrestling. He wants to be a part of wrestling. And so I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good deal pairing him with another Puerto Rican and Damian Priest. You get more eyes on him. You get more Puerto Rican fans to watch and get interested in Priest if they weren't before. The Miz and Morrison thing, I definitely agree. It's way past its shelf life. The hey hey ho ho stop was never. I was going to say stop being funny, but it was never ever funny.
Never funny.
It's terrible. And I mean, when you think about all of the stuff Miz has done at WrestleMania, this just feels very lazy. I mean, he's done some great builds to a WrestleMania. I mean, even the Cena feud with Nikki, that was better than this. Those segments that Miz was doing with parodying Total Bellas they were amazing. So he can do better comedy stuff than this. And this is just not it. I mean, at least it's gotten us all behind Damian and Bad Bunny and wanting to see them lose. So I don't know, but yeah, definitely break up this tag team as soon as possible. I don't know what you do with the Miz at this point, but maybe you throw him back in the Intercontinental title scene. I don't know, but you got to break up this tag team because it's going nowhere.
Yeah,
bust him up because
hot garbage.
Because that's why. Mark, all right, we'll move on in a second, kids. Mark says, I feel this could kill Damian Priest. Mark, no disrespect, man. I don't know if I feel that at all. He's got he's on the stage at Mania. That's saying something, you know. And plus, of all the people they could have put Bad Bunny with, they put him with him, who's unproven on the main roster. That's got to say something too, right?
Yeah, I think this does a lot for Damian Priest. I feel like this is Cyndi Lauper standing next to Wendy Richter. This puts him on. I mean, we know he's great. If you watch Ring of Honor, we know Punishment Martinez is fantastic, but there are guys that only know Bad Bunny that will only see Damian Priest because of this. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move on to the WWE Championship match. This didn't go at all like I was predicting for 2 months, that Brock was going to slide in the back door at the last second and say, I'm here, bounce, bounce, big gloves, Germans, one new champion. So I guess I was dead wrong. Maybe too late now. I guess. I really truly believe that they split up the Hurt Business for a reason, because if he has that faction, there's no reason why this guy should lose. But now that they're out, he can now blame the fact that if he didn't have to let them go in the first place, he never would have lost to Drew, and it could be reverse psychology nonsense. Troy, who do you got in this match? Who do you think's going over?
Drew, of course. He's winning the title back at Mania in front of a crowd, which is what he should have got last year. It wouldn't surprise me if this came on as the opener to get that huge first pop. Could be wrong, but it would be pretty cool. It's not unlike WWE to put their biggest match on first. They did it with Seth and Brock a couple of years ago.
True.
Going back to what you were saying about Brock, expecting him to kind of slide in the back door on this, when Lashley was kind of issuing his whole, right, I'll give anyone a title opportunity that can take him out, I fully expected Brock to come back.
Me too.
And that would have been a really, really good way to bring him back in. And I don't think that would have peeved a lot of people. Like okay, you've brought Brock back in, but it's done in this way. It makes sense. He comes in, he's like a hired gun, he's a mercenary. That would have been cool. However, we're not getting that. But I think Drew's walking away with this.
Phil, it does feel like that they've left money on the table by not putting Brock against Lashley, doesn't it?
It does. I feel like they had the chance to do it when Brock was still Universal Champion and Bobby beat Roman at a pay-per-view, and they didn't just give Bobby the match then. I felt like that was the time to do it, and they waited too long. I feel like Bobby has been money over the last year. I think it would be a real shame to cut his reign short so quickly, especially after you made such a big deal out of it. He didn't get to win the title on a pay-per-view. He won it on TV. I think he should get his WrestleMania moment. I think it's wild that at this point, this company has only given us 3 Black WWE champions, and no Black man has ever successfully defended the title at WrestleMania, ever. Not even Rock.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's insane.
Nope. So
I
just feel like Drew's gonna lose. And part of me wants to get that 4 Horsemen-esque swerve, and the Hurt Business all swerve us and come back together, and they win. But that's totally fantasy booking. It's not gonna happen. Drew's gonna win this thing, and he's gonna get his WrestleMania moment, quote unquote, TM, trademark, whatever else you want to throw on top of there. But I don't know. I was initially excited for Drew to challenge him, but the closer and closer we get to this and breaking up Hurt Business, it just puts a sour taste in my mouth.
James, is it possible? And this is my last straw. This is my last gasp. Is it possible that Brock shows up, costs Drew the match as payback for what happened at last year's Mania, and then we go off into Drew versus Brock and Lashley keeps the belt?
I'd love to see that. I think if Brock's going to do anything, it'll probably be showing up around SummerSlam. To kind of echo what Phil was saying about Lashley's title reign, I'd love to see Lashley hold that till SummerSlam, and then I get they've got it on Lashley. They built Lashley up like almost like a de facto Brock Lesnar, in that he's been unbeatable for the last 10 months. So Drew can come in and conquer that beast sort of thing. It's literally that the whole reason that's there is for Drew to get the pop that he never got last year. And he does deserve that because he's worked so hard in the last 12 months. But at the same time, so is Bobby Lashley. I'd love to see him hold off till SummerSlam, and then have Drew beat him at SummerSlam for the belt in front of fans, where he could possibly get a bigger pop.
It's a shame that it comes at the expense of Lashley, like you say. Because I would like to see him carry on and have a decent reign, but I also want to see Drew win it back at Mania, and it's just the
other thing they haven't really kind of addressed either, like we're talking about getting that pop for Drew, is he would have got such a big pop last year at WrestleMania because there would have been a lot of British fans there that aren't this year. There's no traveling, so it's not going to have the same effect. Whereas at least by SummerSlam, there's the possibility there could be like a bit of an ease on travel restrictions, and you could do that then there.
That's a good shout.
And this is besides the point, but I don't know if you guys are seeing, they're talking about in chat right now. DMX has passed away. It is official. They've made it official online. A lot of outlets are reporting it as we speak. 50 years old. CNN has reported it. So yeah, it's the real deal this time. There was rumors yesterday that he had passed, and it evidently wasn't true. And then now, yeah, it's true. It's a shame. All the best to DMX's family, man. I mean, we talk about what the guy went through, and I understand. I get that because extended family here, man. I went through this a couple years ago with my sister, so it's not exact same thing, but it's lost her to various things, and it sucks. But the family that's left behind is going to grieve for a long time. So all the best to that family, man. I hate to see this. I really hate to see it. We'll try to sorry kids, we'll try to get everything back up on a good note here, but we can't just pretend like the real world's not spinning out there. All right, kids, let's look at what so far in terms of the listing on WWE.com is listed in the main event spot. And Phil, you and I talked about this after the 6M last night. I mean, Sasha versus Bianca, main event of night one. Yes, don't you think?
It should definitely be the main event. I don't think it should have ever been any question that it should have been the main event. I mean, we can go on about how they have done a poor job of building this feud. Too much Reginald, too much tag team for whatever reason. But the importance of this match, because we've never seen two Black women on a stage this big compete for a world title. This needs to be the main event. If you're going to push us the winner take all match at 35, this is the natural progression from that.
Yeah.
And regardless of, I know I've seen people say the story isn't good enough for it to main event. Doesn't matter. The importance of this match supersedes that. So it should be the main event. In terms of who do I think should win this thing, I feel like it's Bianca's time. I feel like she had several chances to win the NXT championship, never won it. Four times she challenged for the NXT Women's Championship, never won it. And I feel like the Royal Rumble win was the feel-good moment of her career. I feel like that was the better match on that card. Mm-hmm. I feel like you've got to run with this and make her champion. She's got star written all over her.
James, it seems like it's her time right now. Yes, she goes over.
Absolutely. I think even like the way they started building it as well, when she had that like sort of mini feud with Bayley, like the way I would have booked it would have just been have her beating former women's champions and just claiming the scalps of them, and then by the time she gets to WrestleMania, it's like, okay, I'll beat all these, and now I'm going to beat you. And that would have been a logical thing, but obviously WWE thought Reginald and tag matches was a better choice. I think something I spoke to a few friends about last year was the main event. If they're doing 2-night Mania, the main event of each night should be the winner of the respective Rumbles. So
yes, absolutely
100% think this should close the show. And it'll be a travesty if it doesn't, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's definitely Bianca's time.
Troy Shane just hit us with Bayley saves the belt for Sasha. What are your thoughts on that?
We were saying earlier, like, it's criminal that Bayley doesn't have a match on Mania weekend. However, she may not have a match. I feel like she's going to show up, and I feel like this is the match she shows up in. I don't know how and in what capacity, but I feel like there's something there. In terms of who win it, if Belair doesn't win it, I'm rioting. She's got to win. If she doesn't, then I do not know what they're thinking. If the idea is to build this girl up and give her, you had the backstage stuff with her crying and Montez is hugging, and they're praying together, and it's all on camera. And this company over the years, guys. All right, Tom, feel good about this. Feel good. We've got you roped in. Do you feel good? You roped in. Well, guess what? You're not getting it. Like, and I've never understood that mentality. Like, you want me to care, but then when I care, you don't give me what you
what you led me to believe I was going to get. Now I
Yeah,
care, and you've disappointed me. It seems like backward stuff here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bianca lost, because they've made me care about it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, there's no bad winner here. I mean, Sasha's never won at WrestleMania. Never. And I think that's crazy, but so I wouldn't have a problem with Sasha winning. I mean, she's clearly a bigger star here. There's more you can do with a Sasha win, but I think it would be a shame to give Bianca 5 title shots at this point and not award her the title.
Yeah.
As far as Bayley, I really think we're getting a Ding Dong Hello segment. Wouldn't be surprised if she hosts the talk show and Becky shows up as her guest. But I think that would be a total misuse of Bayley after the year she had. Completely carried the SmackDown Women's division on her back during the pandemic era.
Yeah.
She should be doing something. I mean, Molly Holly just went into the Hall of Fame. That could have been your match right there. You could have had a Legend versus Bayley match right there. I don't know.
I mean, two women's wrestlers who are notable by their absence, Bayley and Charlotte. Give them 15 minutes, they'd have a great match.
Yeah.
And just make it for no stipulation. Make it for nothing.
Just an exhibition.
Just an exhibition. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been nice. And then at the end, there's no heel, no face. They just hug it out. And it's I would have been fine with that. It could not a throwaway match, but they could have built something off that. Dude, I love that idea. Well, folks, there's your night one. Hope everybody's geared up, because guess what's coming next? That's right. Everyone's had their refreshments and their pizza and their whatever they're drinking. And then now they're like, oh, wait, we're doing this again tomorrow? Holy God, I got to work Monday. So here's night two. We kick it off with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus the winners of the tag team turmoil match from the night before for women's tag team championships. Who we got, Phil? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's Naomi versus Lana. I think they're gonna win here. Yeah, basically in this whole Nia and Lana stuff, split up this tag team, get Shayna into a world title picture, make the cat excited, you know.
Troy, what you think?
Yeah, I agree. Split Shayna and Nia up. Have Shayna go on a meaningful tear up, like we thought she was going to get last year after the Elimination Chamber. Do it properly. And yeah, Lana's getting a Mania moment. I feel like they're walking out with the belts and we can forget this whole thing ever happened.
James, as I said a few minutes ago, they made me care about Shayna, then they did nothing with her. So now's the time to reinvest and just, like you said, bring this thing to an end and move on, right?
Yeah, I think Shayna and Nia dropped the belts here, and I'm not 100% sure who's going to win the turmoil the day before, but I think it's absolutely going to be kind of like a reset button moment on the women's tag division, and Shayna and Nia's reign comes to an end.
I agree with that. We won't spend any more time on that, kids. I think we've probably said all we need to say on that. Riddle versus Sheamus, U.S. title match. Something tells me this might be something of a sleeper on this card. This might be better than what anybody maybe thinks it's going to be. And I think hopefully by now Sheamus has proven that he's tough. I got into a debate years ago because someone was telling me, well, that's what the company's trying to get. They want you to believe he's a tough guy. He'll fight anybody. I'm like, have you not seen him work? He's a very tough guy. What is your definition of tough? Can he take a punch in the mouth? Yeah, he can. Like, what do you mean he's not tough? I mean, I would think he would tell Riddle here, just give it to me. Let's do this. Let's have fun and let's not kill each other, but let's work snug. I mean, James, what do you think about this match?
Yeah, I mean, Sheamus's work in the last sort of 3 months has been fantastic. He's been and it's kind of gone under the radar. Like, not a lot of people talking about it, but he's had some really good matches. His match with Drew, he had a really good match with Riddle as well, and he had some good matches with Keith Lee earlier in the year. I can see Sheamus winning this. Maybe as kind of like a little thank you for like how good he's been.
Yeah, Phil, he's held the U.S. title before, hasn't he? Why can't I remember that? I think he has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this Riddle character. I like Riddle as a wrestler a lot. Some of the stuff outside of wrestling, yeah, not so great. But this character is incredibly annoying. I don't like anything about it. I think we're supposed to think it's funny stoner humor, but he comes off like a rambling idiot most of the time. It's just not funny. It's not interesting. Riddle should be doing something more interesting than this, even though I don't feel like he should be on TV. That's kind of harsh, but I mean, for some of the stuff he's accused of, why is he on TV? Whatever. I feel like I'm complaining here a lot, but
it's okay.
Be on TV. But yeah, I just don't like his character. I think Sheamus should beat this guy. I think it would be totally hilarious if he came out and redid the WrestleMania controversial Bryan thing and bro kicks him, beats him in 18 seconds. But this could be a great match, and I
just
think
have Riddle kissing his scooter instead of AJ Lee.
or have Riddle, better yet, chasing invisible butterflies because the dude's so stoned he doesn't know what reality is anymore.
What is the bird thing? I didn't understand.
Don't get it.
What is that?
I think it might be like a kind of live interpretation of what's going on in his head. I'm not sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, I think Sheamus could win this thing. My guess is that Riddle is going to retain. But I think it's going to be a really good match.
This guy, Troy, the Riddle character that we're seeing now, makes Fast Times at Ridgemont High look like Stephen Hawking. I don't. I just don't. I don't get.
That's a reference.
I'm just saying, and we just don't know. Like, again, and real quick, and I'll shut up about it. I've said so many times. I know the three of you guys have heard me say this before. I'm sure there's two realities to this whole silly pro wrestling guys and gals sweating on each other inside a squared circle thing that we all talk about every week and every day. Whatever. There's a reality as we see it. There's a reality as they see it. For all we know, Riddle's having the time of his life. He's having fun. He loves the character. They're all high-fiving each other between takes. No one thinks it's a big deal. Everybody's okay with it. He's getting paid, and everything's fine, and there's stuff for him on the horizon. We all sit back and go, oh, my God, this is so bad. Why are they doing this to him? I mean, Troy, what's the answer here? You think it's a mix of both, or what's going on?
I've got nothing for you.
Well, thanks for watching, kids. We'll see you next time.
Oh, man, it's painful. Week after week, it's painful watching him just be there, I guess. I've got nothing for. I don't know what the logic is behind what they're doing with him. Sheamus, I think, possibly walks away with this. Like Jay said, I think it would be kind of like a recognition for, well, we know that you've put a shift in the last 6 months. You've made these guys look like stars. Yeah. His work rate generally is amazing, but the last 6 months, I think he's looked really, really, really good. Everyone's come out of those matches with him looking better. And I feel that him winning something here would be a fair recognition for that.
And, you know, the derby and the suspenders and the wife beater and the pants, I know WWE has this whole costuming department, but I would hope at some level this would have been Sheamus saying, is it cool if I just wear this? This is kind of what I would do. Because he doesn't look like anyone else. There's no one else I can think of that, and that's saying something for that company where no one, like so-and-so reminds you of this, and the Fiend reminds you of this, and this. Yeah, but he doesn't really, no one kind of looks like him. So I love the fact that he stands out. And, you know, I know the word tweener, people have an issue with it, riding the fence, and it's really hard to do that in this day and age. It's hard to do it anyway. But I love the idea of he's sort of like the APA, where he's like, oh, I'll do it. How much you going to pay me? All right, cool. I'll do it. And he doesn't care. Dude, I don't know if they would ever get behind him like that, but I think he could be much bigger than what we're seeing right now if they gave him that sort of treatment.
I'd love to see something like that.
Here's a good one. This is Dane from Geek Vibes Nations. I would like for him to lose the title, and then RVD shows up on the Monday After Mania, acts as if they're friends, and then destroys him in the ring. I should think a real heel RVD could bring out the most aggressive side of Matt Riddle. Hey,
that could be fun.
That's just what. Yeah, that's the best word. I mean, it's different. It's RVD gets one last, and you know what? I don't think he deserved a lot of the crap he got last time he was there. People taking a dump on this guy, and I'm thinking he's whatever age he is. What do you think? What do you expect of him at this point? Like, is he supposed to monkey flip 9 times in a row? And I mean, come on, dude, he's not in his 20s anymore. I mean, I think this would actually play out, James, pretty well. You think?
Yeah, I'd love to see another RVD run. When he came back the first time, I lost it when it got announced that he was entering Money in the Bank. So I'd love to see it. Whether he's got some concussion issues, hasn't he? So that might impact whether he gets cleared or not. That's the only thing. But yeah, I mean, he looked pretty good in Impact recently when he was there.
I interviewed him a couple years ago, and he was pushing. He was pushing some guy. I can't remember now what he was pushing, but it had to do with concussions and all that stuff. And that was basically what he wanted to talk about quite a bit of the time. And I couldn't really tell where he was coming down from because I tried to steer him in certain directions and he wanted to steer back in other ways. And he's not a tough interview, but he's a very unique guy. It was a really nice guy. Nothing against him, but it was kind of a different interview. Yeah, we got off on a tangent, kids. My apologies. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I say Sheamus for the win here. That's what I think as well. We have said multiple times in the past, and if you listen to Punk's podcast with Colt several years ago, you know where I'm going with this. Punk said of him and Brian, you should keep us as far apart from each other as possible because when you bring us back together, it'll always work and it'll always make money and we'll always be good. Why are you putting Owens with Zayn again after, I mean, has enough time passed that we're okay with this? Or is it like, man, they didn't have anybody else to put him against. That's what happened. I mean, Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, this is another one where I feel like if you look at Mania last year and you look this year, it's baffling. Why is Kevin Owens in this position? Kevin Owens was white hot coming out of WrestleMania last year. Got the big win over Seth, probably his biggest win at Mania, period. It's weird that they haven't done anything better with him. I know he's been in the title picture with Roman, but I don't know, man. I feel like they could have given him something better than just going up. Well, Sammy's not doing anything here, and here's Logan Paul for reasons nobody understands. I don't know. I like Kevin and Sammy a lot. I think they're going to have a great match. I don't understand why they're doing this. It just feels like it was very last minute.
Yeah. So, James, to his point just now, the whole Logan Paul thing, I have a big problem throwing shade at anybody that I don't personally know. So I try really, really not to do it. But from everything that we've seen, outward appearance, that we're not talking about a quality human being here. I'll just say it. Why in the world do you pull somebody like that into this that doesn't even really need to be there? What do you think?
I think it's a similar sort of thing to like using any other celebrity, isn't it? It's just getting like different eyes on the product. So if Logan Paul's got like a stupid amount of people who follow him on YouTube, hasn't he? I don't know much about the guy myself, but from what I gather, he's got a very popular YouTube channel. There's probably going to be a great amount of people who don't watch wrestling who'll see Logan Paul's doing that and go, oh, yeah, I'll check that out. So I think that's why they're using him. My main issue with this match is, and I've said this a few times on our podcast in the last couple of weeks, they really need to put like a stipulation on it.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking like Falls Count Anywhere or something like that. Kevin Owens is going to jump off that ship, come hook Oka up.
Yes,
just
please.
Make it a Falls Count Anywhere match, and then he can. But also because we've seen Kevin and Sammy so many times, the majority of times it has just been a singles match, a one-on-one. We've not really had many gimmick matches within that. So that's like a nice way to sort of like freshen it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Troy Dane just said Kevin Owens needs to put Logan Paul through a table. I disagree. Putting Logan Paul through a table means you put him over. I wouldn't put him through anything. these guys are pros and they'll do what they're told. But if it's me in there, I'm like, I'm not doing that for him. People look at that stuff and say, oh, let's put, and I use the joke putting through a table. And Dane, I know you know what you're talking about, but I wouldn't give him that kind of rub, because he can go broadcast that to all his interesting followers on YouTube and say, look what I did. I played wrestling the other day. So
people like that don't need any more exposure. He doesn't need to be like, I know, Jay, you were saying it's that whole, well, it brings some different eyes on the product that wouldn't normally watch it. Well, you've got that on night one with Bad Bunny. Leave it there.
They haven't got it for night two, though.
I think it speaks to just how phenomenal that Sami Zayn is, that Logan Paul was on the show with him, and Logan Paul wasn't the one that went viral. Sammy dancing is what went viral, because Sammy is the guy. Come on.
Yeah.
So I mean, it pretty much tells you right there that this feud did not need Logan Paul. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense to get the celebrity in and give them the beating. If this is like Federline and you know this is somebody that everybody hates, you don't really have a consensus enough on Logan Paul because you haven't had a live crowd to understand what to do with him. So I don't know. I don't know if putting him through a table does anything. We don't know how the live crowd is going to react to him.
The question is, who did it better, Zayn or Zemo? Who did it better? I'm just asking.
I was thinking that happened the same day.
That's good stuff, man. All right, let's move on to something that we've all. This is one of those weird things where, like, look, I don't know about. I can't speak for you three guys on a full-time basis, and I won't try. But I think, and well, actually, I can in this instance. All three of you guys are level-headed and smart, or you wouldn't be on my show. Okay, I'm just spitting truth here. Right?
Thanks, darling.
Thanks, please.
You're welcome, sweetheart. But here's the thing. I say that for this. I think everybody here wants to see Apollo do well. I don't think this is, I hate that Apollo guy and this gimmick is dumb, and we know he doesn't speak like that. I think every one of us is coming from the perspective of, man, I really like him, but is this the answer? Is this what we do? So, like, I don't know how to feel about this match, Phil. I don't know how to feel about a Nigerian drum fight. I mean, dude, does this thing run the risk of being laughed at? Or I mean, Biggie and Apollo are pros. Can they pull this out? What do you think?
That's a big sigh.
Right? I'll have some coffee while you think about it.
I don't know, man. I want to give this Apollo thing the benefit of the doubt. I haven't enjoyed the direction they've gone in with it. I enjoy that they've given the guy a different character. They've given him a distinct character. I enjoy him as a heel. I don't think it needs the accent. I don't think it needs the over the top stuff like the spear. I don't think you need to make this match a Nigerian drum match. Just make it a match. I just don't think that adds anything here. I think you get into some murky water with that. I don't know. Depending on how this thing looks, we don't know what the presentation of it. I mean, for all we know, this could look really cool, and Apollo could come out with like a fleet of drummers behind him, and this could be a great WrestleMania entrance and moment for him. I don't know. What I will say that I think, because I think New Day is losing, I do think this is going to be Big E's WrestleMania moment. I think him coming out with Wale is going to be fantastic. Wale does his theme song. I think he's gonna kill this in front of a live crowd. And I think Big E's going to win.
Troy, what's your take on this match?
Just make it a whatever it's meant to be, a street fight, a falls count anywhere, no DQ. It's essentially what this is. There's no need to put the name on it, a Nigerian drum fight. Just it's a bit much for me. However, I am looking forward to, if they give Apollo like a big entrance on this, I think it would be really cool. I think I even said this a few weeks ago. I sort of like the presentation, not the accent or anything like that, but I kind of like him kind of being flanked and just coming out like he's kind of that kind of head, that royalty sort of figure. And it would be cool to have a visual like that, I think, at WrestleMania, if they're trying to kind of make people invest in this character a bit more. But there's other elements of the character that I don't like and that I really don't want to invest in. In terms of the match itself, I feel if Apollo doesn't win, then what do they do with him? Like, there's no investment after this if he doesn't win. But equally, I feel like Big E needs to retain because I feel like he sort of deserves a long run with that to kind of legitimize himself as a champion, but also to kind of position the belt higher. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm really on the fence with this one.
James, so if they were to give Apollo all the bells and whistles and a grand entrance, is that the and then let him lose? Is that the equivalent of giving Rusev a tank and Cena beats him?
I think so, yeah. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and they've got to the point with Apollo now that he's lost that much that it's getting to the point where it's starting to damage him. And I think if they're clearly trying to build Apollo up as like a singles guy. They're clearly trying to like make him a big deal. So having him lose to Big E as much as he has, and especially like with this, they're giving him his own gimmick match, which it's just a street fight by the sound things. It would really hurt Apollo if he lost, but I do think he is going to lose.
Yeah.
So everybody in the chat is saying the same thing. What is this match? What are the rules? I personally want to see guys' heads going through snare drums. That'd be fun.
It runs the risk of the Symphony of Destruction match, doesn't it? Where it's just instruments on the stage, but it's entirely drums.
Yeah,
maybe we can get Jarrett coming out screaming slap nuts and yet hitting everybody with guitars and stuff.
Yeah, I am very concerned. I don't want to. I'm hoping that this is not too over the top. If we get him coming out in like loincloth or whatever, and I don't want to see that. That's why I'm like, it all depends on what the presentation of this. Because I mean, this could be like gender level good when he came out and did his like celebration, which looked really beautiful. Regardless of what you think of him as champion, I feel like he had good moments and they did good things with Indian culture at that time. He's got an opportunity to do the same thing here. But I just don't think you needed to name the match that to do that.
And Phil, God, I love that. And but so Phil, to your point, that was gender. There was no question about this is gender. This is not really Apollo. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And it's like, and people hated gender. Oh man, the fact that people hated gender so much. And I'm like, I'll never understand why you hate the talent that the company books. You can dislike the character. You can say stuff. Sure, it's a free country. Say whatever you want. But to hate the guy, anybody but gender. What did he do in the ring that was so terrible? I don't recall ever going, oh, God, gender hurt him. Did you see that? Never. Like, what was the – man, I'm going off on a rant. But, like, I love that comparison. That was awesome.
Well, yeah, they always presented gender as a jobber. So it just was weird that they took him from a jobber to WWE champion in, like, a few weeks.
Right.
But that wasn't gender's fault. That was their fault. Because they didn't do a good job building him up. And then on top of that, they gave us an Orton title reign that nobody wanted. So that's what it is. I mean, I don't know. We can get back into the Orton stuff later, but I think this is going to be a good match. Hopefully, both of these guys look good coming out of this. I think it'll be a shame if Apollo loses and he kind of gets brushed back into catering. But I kind of don't see him winning here. Like, I don't see what is the benefit of having Wale come out with E and then E losing. Yeah.
So Troy, I know you're up against the clock here. We've got 3 matches left. So if you need to split, it's all good. But if you need to, I'll get your takes on the last 3 matches if you want to do that before you got to go.
I can give you another 10, 15. I can push it.
We can do that. We can make the if the boss says you got 15 and put the guy over, I can put this guy over all day. It's not a problem. So everybody just tell the ref when to take it home and we're ready to go. So so Troy, by God, let's start with you. Tell me why this is your most anticipated match in the history. Everybody stop laughing. In the history, because I can't keep a straight face, in the history of WrestleMania, why this match is bigger than Hogan and Andre, bigger than Hunter and Sean, bigger than Taker and Sean, bigger than tell me, Troy, Huh? Yes. Hit me, Troy. Make it good. Make it count.
Oh, I don't. I wanted to be excited for this match, but it feels like the build's gone on about 2 months longer than it should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to enjoy it, and I think I probably will enjoy it. I think we don't know everything that's going on in it. I think there's going to be a few surprises that come out of this, and I think that's what's going to kind of salvage it. But I found it really difficult to invest because I just felt like it's dragged, and it's like two sides of the sword, because I often complain like, oh, well, they don't build stuff for long enough and they just pull these feuds out of nowhere. They've given this months to build, but it's just not been a very good use of several months of build for me.
This is why I have you guys on, because that is so well said. We do that a lot. I'm guilty of it too, guys. Of, man, this came out of nowhere. But then when they do dedicate it, it's so. Troy, am I too jaded as a fan? Should I have just rolled with this and said, "Oh, they're giving it time. Just get over yourself. It's weird, but just roll with it." Or is it that they have mishandled it? You think?
I think they have, and it's said it years ago as well, Bray. Like, how do you kind of mishandle someone like that who has so much creatively to give? And in this, like the initial thing beforehand, we saw a lot of that, and it was good. But it was kind of since everything that happened at what was the pay-per-view at the back end of the year where the Fiend got burnt. I can't remember which one it was now.
TLC.
But, yeah, basically everything after TLC, I've just been like, but everything building up to that was good. Yeah, there's going to be a few decent takeaways. I think it involves Bray Wyatt, and he's insanely creative and talented with stuff like that. And I think there will be a few bits, but yeah, too long a build. Just nah.
All right. So you're talking about surprises and stuff that could happen in this match. I got one, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it would actually fit. What if we got
Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes.
That's just an excuse to hit the button. I don't really have a reason to. It just occurred to me my button quota is way down for this episode, so I got to get that thing up. So, James, do you? Again, this goes back to the Big E and Apollo thing for me. I don't wish ill will on these guys, and I like both of them. It's just it kind of feels like, you know, you have this cake, and this cake is so good, but they've put so much stuff on this cake that I can't taste the cake anymore. And there's icing and sprinkles and all this stuff. And you're like, it's good cake, but God bless it. What flavor's the cake again? Because I can't remember. Like, it seems like a whole lot of layers to something that could have been much easier.
Yeah. I feel like they dragged it out to get it to Mania. I feel like they could have wrapped this feud up at the Rumble, and it would have done the same thing. Also, I know where we've all kind of thought it should be a Firefly Funhouse match.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Let's just say it what it is. It should be a Firefly Funhouse match.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm looking forward to the return of maggots getting projected onto the canvas.
Never heard anyone ever say that before. That's the truth.
Yeah. Tongue firmly in cheek there.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I just don't really care about it.
Robbie said, hey, Phil, here's one for you. I think Randy says, hey, Fiend, I've got a surprise where the boogeyman comes out, shoves worms in the Fiend's mouth after knocking him out, then RKO gets the win. They've done everything else here, Phil. Freaking throw the boogeyman in too. I don't care. What do you think?
Boy. Yeah, I don't know. I think this feud has suffered mightily by not having Bray on screen cutting promos.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much that the build has been too long, but I think they've spent too long keeping Bray off of television. And then you finally brought him back, and he still hasn't said anything. You're still letting Alexa carry his thing. And Alexa's great, but the Firefly Funhouse stuff works because of Bray. And without him, it kind of falls apart. So, I'm hoping this is a Firefly Funhouse match, and we just don't know it. And this is just the big surprise of Mania. And they riff off of all of their other, encounters before this, including, the WrestleMania 33 match with, projected maggots and whatever else, the cockroaches. Yeah,
That's a good one. A bouncy house match. I'm so here for a bouncy house match. You kidding?
yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. Now that he says bouncy match, I wonder if they did do the cinematic match because it's a live crowd and they didn't know how well a cinematic match would go over with a live crowd. I don't know, but this should totally be a cinematic match. Even if they don't show this match in front of a live crowd and it just, it's part of the show later. I don't know. There was a way to do this. This whole, having Alexa and Randy spew out motor oil or whatever that black goo is, that's not working for me. I feel like Randy's got to lose here. I feel like the Fiend is on his last legs with this thing. This loss here would basically kill the character. And maybe that's the point of this, is to just kill him off for good. And I don't know, but I don't know. Not really invested.
I mean, I would like to think that somewhere Brody Lee's having a nice laugh at this because he's seeing two of his old friends have fun on the Mania stage, and I maybe not, but it would be nice if there could be a little tribute worked in there somewhere for him. That would be kind of cool. If nothing else, a flannel shirt or something that would kind of be a callback to him.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be sweet. 2 more matches, kids, and then we take it home. This one probably won't take long. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley for what I like to call, why are we doing this again? For the Raw Women's Championship. I like both of them, but I have said for 12 months, Asuka is a clown, not because the makeup. Well, she's a clown. She's goofy. She's silly. She's almost borderline stupid because they want her to be, and at whatever. And then Rhea should be metal and awesome and this, and instead they've got, and Phil, I showed it to you, they've got the motion card of these two for this match. Asuka's doing this stupid little dance and Rhea is doing this at Asuka, and I'm like, did she just thumb her nose? What are they doing to these two women? Oh, wow. No joke. See, Phil, that's a reaction, baby. I mean, it's,
Oh dear.
I hadn't seen that.
I want so much better for these two, and I'm glad they're at Mania. I'm glad they're working for the title. I'm here for it. They're probably going to put on a great match. I guess there's just no pleasing some fans. Maybe I'm one of them. But Phil, give me something here. What do you think?
There's no bones about it. Asuka is my favorite wrestler. I hate how they book her. I hate it. The last few months have been abysmal for her. She's rarely on pay-per-views as champion. I feel like this reign has done nothing for her. She has yet to have a storyline of her own. Everything is related to someone else. Everything is someone else's story. She's a tag-along in this Charlotte tag team for whatever reason. She's a tag-along in the Lana storyline for no reason. Gets thrown in the Sasha and Bailey stuff for no reason. She has not had anything of her own. I think it is a travesty that we did not get Asuka versus Kairi before Kairi left. I hate how they book Asuka. I hate it. I hate it. But whatever. This match is going to be really good. These are two really good in-ring competitors. I think Rhea has to win here. You cannot have her lose 2 years in a row. I think that is a shame because it makes Asuka look like even more of a joke. But it doesn't matter. I don't.
Troy, have we got Rhea for the win here?
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that by having Rhea win, they almost use it as a reset for Asuka's character. And then they have her chasing it, but as a more serious attitude. It probably won't, because like you say, they booked her appallingly for the last 12 months. But it would be nice. We can dream. We can hope.
She's totally going to end up in a tag team with Io. Watch.
Why'd you do this to me?
First James, then Phil, just craps all over it. So Shane says, could you see Charlotte interfering in the match because it was supposed to be Charlotte in the match? We haven't talked a lot about whether or not she could pop up. I mean, what if she comes in and ruins it? And then Rhea loses because of Charlotte, and it's a callback to the Mania, and then it's, oh my God, here we go again. That just hit me.
It's two women who should have beat Charlotte at WrestleMania facing each other. I personally don't see that happening. I think Charlotte's going to probably show up on the Raw after. I definitely think Rhea's winning, though. It kind of feels like, I said this to Troy last night when we were watching TakeOver. It feels kind of like 2005, like WrestleMania 21, when they had Cena and Batista as the final two, and then they had them both facing like the respective world champions and winning them. And it was kind of like not like a reset, but it was kind of like launching two new stars. It feels like this for Rhea and Bianca for the women's division, and it's a good kind of launching off point, I think. I agree completely with Phil about Asuka, though. They need to do something better with it because Jesus, she's so good.
Nate says, darn it, Phil, why did you speak that into the universe? So, Phil, we blame you for this.
I know. Hey.
Phil's like, screw it, I'll take the blame. I don't care. Chris says the treatment of Asuka more points to the brand split. Too many titles, not building in new stars or getting over the ones you have, and lack of focus on building a match people be more excited about. Chris, I agree, but you could say that about a whole host of people in that company.
I don't know. I kind of have to disagree.
Really? Hit me.
To me, the Raw Women's title was in a really great place in 2018. You put it on the biggest star that you had in Ronda Rousey. That title was the best women's title in the company at that point. You put it in a place with Becky. Becky wins and has this great year-long run. The title never felt more important. The problem is they didn't stick the landing when they should have. Shayna should have beat Becky at WrestleMania, and then you would have had a dominant champion coming out. Instead, you start Asuka's reign by not even having her beat the champion. She gets handed the title, which I mean, poignant moment, great thing for Becky going away, and nobody could have planned around her being pregnant, but Shayna should have won that title at WrestleMania. That's how you end a year-long reign. Having Becky go out and never lose, she never gave anybody that rubbed. And I think that has hurt the Raw Women's Championship ever since.
Great callback. And it's kind of the old idea of, okay, who pins Austin in his prime? Well, whoever you're giving that to better be able to do it and better be able to carry it and get something out of it. So, yeah, Shayna could have got something out of pinning Becky because Becky was, like you said, dominant, was 100% true, and then you didn't give it to her.
And Asuka, she got handed the title and then lost it in a count out to Sasha, and then gets pinned by Sasha at SummerSlam. Who would Asuka beat of note as champion?
No one.
No one.
No.
That's the problem here. It's not that there's too many titles. It's that they have clearly stopped investing in that title since Becky left.
Yeah. Keeping it warm for her, I suppose. Keeping it warm.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Folks, we got one more, and the two-night extravaganza has come to an end. Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. Let's go around the if I say around the horn I get sued. Let's go around the screen. Troy, who you got in this?
I do not know.
Troy, man.
I'm so on the fence about this because there's so much to it. I think it was Edge that put something out the other day and said it's not Reigns against Edge against Bryan. It's Bryan against Adam against Joe. And their whole story where they're not talking about it so much on TV, but the fact that all three of these guys have had life-threatening injuries or diseases and have all come back to be able to wrestle, to be able to have that moment as the headline of WrestleMania. And all of them have had to relinquish titles through no fault of their own. Like, it's massive. There's so many layers to it. And like I say, they're not alluding to that on TV. But I think as fans, like it's kind of a nice feel-good thing, kind of characters and stuff aside. It's really cool that these three guys get to be in that position, I think. As for who's going to win it, I really, really don't know. It would be a feel-good moment for Edge winning it. It's possibly Bryan's last Mania, and Reigns has just been doing some incredible work and should hold on to it for longer. So I don't know. I really don't know on this one.
James, does anybody get hurt by losing in this match, or is everybody okay at the end?
I think Bryan's there to take the pin, isn't he? So Edge doesn't get hurt or Roman doesn't get hurt. Obviously, the feel-good thing is that it's 11 years to the day, that Edge retired and relinquished the world title. However, you've spoke a few times about them making you invest in something and then pulling the rug out, and I think that's what's going to happen, and Roman's going to retain.
Mm.
There's more compelling things to come out of WrestleMania with Roman as champion than there is Edge or Bryan for me at this point.
Excellent point. Phil, a heel champion does provide more drama no matter what company we're talking about. When it's two different dynamics, kids. When it's a babyface champion, the chase is different, the matches are different, the vibe is different, but a heel champion is the way to go in my opinion. So does Roman just keep the belt here?
I think the Roman's definitely winning here. I think this is the best Roman has ever looked, and I mean ever.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a great entrance. 5th WrestleMania main event. I think he's tied for 3rd most at this point. I think he's winning this thing. I think this is gonna be a good look. I mean, in terms of redemptions we've gotten this week alone, I mean, when you even look at Finn Balor, having to drop the Universal title and having the run of a lifetime with the NXT title, that's great stuff. Getting to see where Rich Swann came back. I mean, this guy tore up his leg, almost had to retire, and now Impact World Champion. On the same night, wrestled Kenny Omega on one show, and then later that night got to wrestle a legend in Too Cold Scorpio. Can't get much better than that. Couldn't be more happy for that guy. And same thing for these 3 guys. Happy that these guys are on a big stage again. I don't think this is a lose for anybody. I think the fact that they're in this match is great, but I think Roman's definitely winning.
I honest to God, Troy, I'm with you. I don't know how I feel because I'm okay with any of the 3 winning, and honestly, I don't think it hurts any of them. I'm a Daniel Bryan guy. I kind of always have been, and I won't. It is what it is. But I love the idea of, and honestly, if this thing if it played out in front of a live crowd, maybe the overall sentiment would be different in terms of I don't want Daniel Bryan to win. We may not be talking about that right now. It might be, man, this is getting me vibes of the first time he came up, and the crowds were hot, and they're getting hot for him again, and we may be talking about an entirely different conversation where he's the odds-on favorite to win. I don't know, but no way to know that now. I think I'd be okay with whoever goes over. Excellent freaking point, Troy, about these 3 guys coming from injuries. Same with you, Phil. God bless. That's good stuff. I mean, it's writing itself. It's already written itself. It's right there, but they're not going to put it on TV. It's WWE. I don't care, whatever. But man, there is a lot of rich backstory to this. Excellent call. Kids, there's your WrestleMania 37 show. And it only took us an hour and a half as opposed to the 12 hours it'll take them. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they'll impress us. Be like, oh, hey, that was only 9.5 hours for one show. That was pretty good. So overall opinions of what we're in for. Troy, you looking forward to this show both nights combined or what?
Yeah.
You lead off with that? I was expecting. Yeah, you're kidding me. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I think that I wasn't. If you'd have asked me this 2-3 weeks ago, I'd have said no. But I feel a bit more invested now, and it's hard not to get excited around WrestleMania, isn't it? Like, even if there's only one match on the card you're looking forward to, it's still WrestleMania. There's still going to be something special that happens. There's still going to be these takeaway moments. So I am excited for it. I really am.
James, what are you up for this, man?
Yeah, I last year I wasn't really that hyped about it. I thought the build wasn't great, and it ended up really being awesome and surprising me. I feel like this is the same. I've not really felt much of the build of it at all, but it'll probably pleasantly surprise me, and it'll probably be a really good show.
Phil, you got the last word. We never do a last word on the main event, but you got one here. What do you think?
I'm excited for the live crowds at a WrestleMania again. And getting an actual WrestleMania stage. I've seen the previews for this thing. It looks massive. It looks great. Getting to see that back is what I'm excited about here. Even if I'm not excited for every match on the card, I think the spectacle of it will be worth it.
Yeah,
dude. I don't care what my name. I don't care if my name is Seth. I don't care if it's get these hands. I don't care if it's Drew. I don't care if it's Sasha. I would be the one in the locker room going, can we go first? Can we go first on night one? Please let it be us, because the first one out of that curtain, dude, they're gonna they want to hear it because they've not heard it. The AEW people have heard some semblance of a crowd. WWE guys have not heard it. So I'd want to be the first match on the card on the first night. I would be like, I can't wait to hear this crowd. I think it's going to be massive. That first pop. Yeah. I just hope it's not Vince coming out to welcome everybody to the show.
This is the XFL.
Yes.
I got the impression it's going to be Drew getting a massive entrance. I really don't want it to be Hogan.
Oh God! Oh, James Crab, you ended with that.
It's gonna be. Well, it's gonna be, isn't it? So I might as well get our hopes up that it could be Drew.
Okay, I'll take that.
It's gonna be Titus O'Neil. I refuse to acknowledge that other guy's hosting. Titus O'Neil is the only host of WrestleMania this year. I don't know
how it should be. Titus Bailey.
I'll take it. Yeah, it's what you gonna do? What you gonna do, brother? I don't know. So, kids, we hope everybody's had a blast. Say thank you to the other three horsemen here. Gentlemen, I could not thank you enough for hanging out. Troy, throw it up there. There you go. That's a screenshot waiting to happen, baby. All right. Thanks, gentlemen. As always, I do appreciate it. This has been a fun freaking show. I'm sure this is the only time you're going to talk about Mania the rest of the week, right? There you go.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like sure, whatever. All right, guys. Thanks again for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Thanks, as always, man. You guys are the best.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, we're getting out of here. And technology, again, playing a part. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Listen, enjoy WrestleMania this weekend. Take it for what it is. Try to have fun with it. Remember, life's a work, kid. Just get over yourself and it'll be fine. If your favorite doesn't win, there's always tomorrow. It'll be okay. The sun will still rise tomorrow, and if it doesn't, none of us will be left here to know the difference anyway. This too shall pass. Do you need any more motivation to get over yourselves? Because if you do, you're barking up the wrong tree here. I got nothing left for you. Thanks as always, folks, for hanging out. We do appreciate your business. We will see you next time, next Friday. Don't be late for the main event. Thanks, folks. Everybody have a great weekend. See you next time. Tom Clark's Main Event.